Hello, I'm Luke, the Hard Times guy. Welcome to my channel, the Hard Times Chronicles. And on it I talk about antiques, country primitives, auctions, flea markets, buying and selling antiques of all kinds, and also create what I call Hard Times Originals, which are examples of country antiques. So stop by and see my channel. Check out all my videos. It's time for some spring cleaning out here. Idea what I'm faced with. I'm standing at the east side of what I call the barn. It's a 40 by 40 pole building. It's got my workshop in it. It's got lots of projects, and it's got lots of good merchandise actually. There's some really good old rope. Somebody could find a way to repurpose it. Over there, several old doors and old wide boards. Over there against the wall where you see that mirror, there's a lot of other cupboard doors and things stacked over there. There's things down under those sawhorses. Miscellaneous junk on top of them. I see an old wagon seat in that mess right there. That's some kind of a folding clothes dryer that's all trussed up in rope. Come around here, you see more chairs. Chairs seem to be something I have a weakness for. There's one of them little stools that I like that you may or may not have seen. There's another good old box. Chalk price on that's $65. It's got good old homemade handles. Trying to find the, yeah. Looks like it's wallpapered on the inside. Semi-modern duck decoy. Hidden under that stuff's a old Studebaker wagon. Ox yoke hanging from the ceiling. Those used to be really popular, not so much more anymore. More chairs. As you can see, this place needs to be cleaned. That little rack over there is full of what I'm going to call gingerbread, pieces of wood that are parts of things, drawers, ornate decorative pieces, thin board backs, drawer fronts. There's a chair up on top. There's some screen doors there. I don't even look up there very often, but hanging up at rafter level is that's a Brickyard 400 banner. I don't know what year that one's from. The one next to it, another one, 1996, Brickyard 400, August 3rd, 1996, Indianapolis Motor Speedway. There's some assortment of old wall telephones. Those are not really good shape. I'm looking at those. Looks like they range somewhere between $45 and $75. There's a cabinet with some old stuff in it. There's a church pew hiding under that junk. Now that particular one, I've probably had that church pew sitting in this barn. That's a primitive church pew. I'm going to do a video about those one of these days because number one, I love them just as they are. Number two, I have built so many Hard Times originals out of boards that were from primitive church pews. These are either because I cut them down and had boards left, or because they were in such bad shape when I bought them I couldn't do anything but salvage the boards. But I love primitive church pews. I love the material they're made from, and that particular one is from a church that no longer exists. It burned, Methodist Church in Leesville, Indiana, and Leesville is Lawrence County's oldest settlement. and that was a church pew from that church in Leesville. It's probably been in this barn for pretty close to the length of time that I've owned this barn, maybe 40 years. There's nothing wrong with it. I've always had several of them, and I guess I always had this one priced higher than the rest. It looks like it's $145, and you'd think that would be a steal. Somebody wanted one of those, but there it is, primitive church pew. No paint except on the trim around the top. I believe it's yellow poplar. There's a cherry drop leaf table, something else that used to be worth a lot more than it is today. There's a blue box sitting on top of that. I'm getting ready to stack some more boxes up there. What we're looking at here is old wardrobe. These things are great if you need closet space in your house. You can just stick these in a bedroom and you got an instant closet. And they look good. People redo them, put shelves in them, make storage or bookcases or all kinds of things you can do with that one. This particular one sitting here looks like it's accumulated a whole bunch of pictures and picture frames. This cleaning project's starting to shape up. There's an old barrel that barrel's metal. It has wooden staves on it. Somebody told me a story about that one time, why those wooden staves are on a metal barrel like that. It had something to do with static electricity, but I don't remember what it was. It's a neat old barrel though. It's full of table legs and spindles out of stairways and what have you. All that stuff's for sale. There's a little cupboard I've had for a while. You saw those boxes a while ago when I first started this job. Starting to shape up and look like something. Found that little tin with the dog picture on it, and it had something in it. I finally got the lid off of it, and it's full of wooden spools. If you ever need a wooden spool, I got one. There's an old pump. Stuff hanging on that wall. Those wheels will make a good project one of these days. I just haven't got around to them. Looking a little better. I got the floor swept. Got the spider webs out of there. Person can get back in here now. You get in here deep, it's hard telling what you might find. There's a lot of doors and drawers and pieces of stuff in here. It looks like I don't know where that's a door top or that's part of a dough board. I don't know what that is. Kind of surprising what you find that you forgot you even had. There's looks like 1, 2, 3 at least metal wheelbarrow wheels, and there's some supports for the wheelbarrow back behind that hanging in there. I need to get busy and turn them into a wheelbarrow. There's one of those rings that goes on the top of a barrel churn, holds the lid. Had one of these when I was a child. We called him Dobbin. Of course, he was the old red with the black saddle, etc. This one here, somebody's repainted him. His name's Little Blackie. Going down this side, there's a 2-drawer nightstand that I'd forgotten I had. It's a pretty good one too. It just the top needs a little attention. It's an old 10-door safe. Primitive part of a cupboard over there I've used for years in my booths as shelving to display stuff. It's starting to shape up in here. By the 1st of June I might have it where I could have company. I'm getting ready to guarantee that one of two things is going to happen. Either somebody's going to buy that wagon, or I'm going to need something that's in that wagon just pretty soon. And I'll tell you how I know that. Let's look first at what's in it. What I'm going to do, I've got 4 doors, and I got chairs sitting around here everywhere. You've seen them already. They're in my way. Every time I need something, I move them out of the way, then I put them right where they're in the way again. I've got 2 of those lightweight doors right there. And I'm going to put them up on top of that wagon right there. And over there on the other side of the barn, I don't know if we can tell it from here or not, but there's 2 more doors. They're heavier doors. I'm going to put them up on top of that wagon too. And I'm going to set chairs up on top of that wagon. And that act of creating storage space up on top of that wagon is going to make something happen. That wagon's either going to sell, or I'm going to need something that's in the wagon. Just pretty much guaranteed. In fact, when I get back down to the house, I expect my wife to say, somebody called and they needed, and it'll be something that has to do with me taking that display down off the top of the wagon. When I started this project yesterday, I had a bunch of mirrors over in front of that wardrobe, and they were in the way all the time, and I needed a place to put them, and I started creating a place to put them, and then I started moving them. That mirror right there is a pretty good sized mirror, bevel glass, nothing special, but I set it down on the asphalt and I broke it right down there in the corner. You can probably see that. Haven't decided what I'm going to do. I put it up over a wastebasket and hit it about 5 or 6 times with the hammer, trying to break it up in small pieces so I could throw away, and I couldn't even break it with a hammer. I don't know how I broke it down there at the bottom, but I'm hoping that's not 7 years of bad luck. I got too much bad luck going on now. I stopped here to show you that. I'm started over here to show you something else. You've heard me mention Abner House pieces, and I'm going to make a video about Abner House pieces one of these days, but right there is the last of the Abner House raw material I have. In fact, I think that one on the right over there isn't even from the Abner House. That's from some other place, and maybe that tall one on the left. I think we're just looking at 3 pieces there in the middle that are window facings or door facings that come out of the Abner House, and that's all I have left of the salvage I did there years ago. And there's been lots of pieces created out of that, Hard Times Originals created out of that Abner House salvage. There's a pretty good set of old country chairs, 4 of them. I just wiped them down. They had dirt all over them. Fixed to put them up on top of that wagon. I got a table to go good with these, but they're not really coupled to the table. I don't think I'd sell them one at a time, but I'd sell them without the table. There's 4 of them. We're probably talking about $75. Somebody bought the table, they can get a lot better buying that on the chairs too. But I don't know, $75 and see where that goes. We're looking at an old, I think it's a cooler is what you'd call it. It's got a galvanized lining in it, and it's got sliding doors on the top, made out of wood on the sides, very heavy. That's something from an old-time country store. My son-in-law John found that earlier in the week in an old barn that someone's going to tear down. He went to look at it, and he got me out there because there's some 22-inch, 20-inch, 18-inch wide boards in there that could be salvaged, and he knew I'd like those, so we went to look at it, and we found this there too, and the guy that owned it didn't want it, so boy, there it is sitting on my porch. I'm grinning like a dead pig in the sunshine. And good barn find, some kind of an old cooler, and I get that thing cleaned up and maybe put a little remnants of paint on it. It's got some red remnants on the opposite side. That'll really be something. I'm pretty proud of that.
Hi, I'm Peyton. The Hard Times guy is my great papa. Be sure to subscribe to his channel and give a thumbs up.